How many poses you want? Any pose, up to you. On screen right now is Amani, a 16-year-old bodybuilder who looks like this with just 2 years of training. Bear in mind, he used to look like this 2 years back, and now he looks like this. Okay, so on the pod here today we have Amani, a 16-year-old bodybuilder. I'm honored to have you here, man.
Thank you.
Let's start with it. So the first question we will start this pod off is, if you could tell your past self one thing before starting the gym, what would be a thing you want to tell your past self?
My past self, one thing, train smarter and listen to yourself and don't blindly follow others.
Okay, so it's like personalization is really important in training.
Personalization, yes.
Okay, right, so welcome to the show. You're a 16-year-old bodybuilder and you've been training for a whopping only 28 months. That's like 2 years and 4 months, and you have gotten quite big and amazing physique.
Yeah, I started in 16 March 2023, so anyone that wants to do the math, that's 2 years, 4 months
For reference,
and 2 weeks.
Yeah, for reference, today is the 2nd of August 2025, so yeah, you're almost hitting 2.5 years.
Yeah,
almost there. That's kind of crazy. So why don't you share a bit more about yourself, like why do you start working out and things like that?
So I think most people are expecting a very deep answer, like, oh, I got heartbroken, or like I was skinny, but not really. I only started going to the gym because my best friend at the time, he just invited me to go to the gym, and then since he was so obsessed with the gym and we were best friends, I would just follow him every single day, and I've gotten up to this point now.
Wow, so it's not really anything that people would normally expect in terms of working out.
Yeah.
It's just your friend's influence, then you say why not, and you just started your first gym.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So let's start with a topic that I find particularly interested in, because I feel like many teenagers nowadays, when they are working out, there's a lot of things they randomly follow, a lot of advice they randomly follow, like myths. So what do you think is the biggest myth teenagers believe about building muscle that you found to be totally false in your perspective?
The biggest myth? There are so many myths that I can state, but I think the biggest myth is that you have to be in a lot of pain, and you have to put yourself through hell, and have to put in a lot of effort, blood, sweat and tears. So basically what I was trying to say is that the biggest misconception about building muscle is that it's a painful journey. It's definitely not. Effort, definitely high. The amount of time you have to put in, definitely, it's a lot of nuance, but I would say it's quite high in the overall, in like terms of how much it will take up your life. But pain, no, not really. A lot of people think they have to go to the gym, they have to grind super hard, they have to like literally like push themselves much more, way beyond their mental strength and whatever. No, that you will build muscle by training smarter.
So, will you consider yourself a science-based lifter?
Yeah, I would consider myself. I wouldn't like to label myself. What I would consider myself is a lifter that happens to study kinesiology in the free time. So kinesiology is the study of biomechanics, mechanisms in the body that are relating to muscle hypertrophy, like athletic strength and all that kind of stuff. So basically it's just science but for athletes or whatever.
Yeah, so what you're saying is, to get an incredible physique, you really have to put your fitness, weightlifting at one of your top priorities.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say so?
I would say incredible physique for you I would definitely agree. But incredible physique to the general population, I wouldn't say so.
Alright. Okay, so in the past 3 or 4 months or so, the online bluff about Hussein Farhad, Julian Fitness, they are blowing off for their incredible fitness
of their physiques. Like you say, with only 3 years of training, or like Julian, 3 years of training at 19 years old, and they are like huge already. So you would say that, I think that something that people don't understand is how big of a part genetic actually matters in terms of gaining size, building muscle, proportions and size. Will you agree that genetics are one of the top like criteria to get a good physique?
Definitely. People like to undermine the role genetics play, but you have to look at the two extremes. The extreme end, or the extreme lower end, is the person that will have to take years just to achieve a decent physique. They have terrible insertions. They have terrible propensity to grow, and their environment is very unsupportive of their training and their diet also. And the other end, you have people that I would say like Hussein Fahad, like you mentioned, definitely has great genetics. Whether he's natural or not, he still has great genetics in terms of insertion, and his starting point was already quite well. And just to put it very bluntly, the person with the worst genetics in the world, no matter how smart they train, no matter how much they maximize their hypertrophy, their muscle growth, they will never ever outclass a person with good genetics and a decent work ethic. That's
Yeah, right. So in terms of bodybuilding, they say talent really can be slightly more important than hard work, if you would say so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Genetics play a huge role in bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilding, right? I would say for recreational bodybuilding, not so much, but on the competitive end, because it's like you're competing against people that want to compete professionally. Genetics definitely matter, and it's not just bodybuilding; it's honestly any sport.
Yeah, but then so, some of you watching might have been lifting for the past maybe 1 year or so and not seeing much results. Do you have any advice for people, mentally, physically, for people that just naturally have, they might call it bad genetics or not so decent genetics? For example, they might find it hard to grow one muscle part, or they might have bad genetics or insertions or proportions. What is something that you will tell them to do and focus on now for these people?
What I would tell them to focus on is make sure you master the basic training principles, right? Training and nutrition principles. So for the basic training principles, it's quite simple really. Hit your macronutrients. It's really not that difficult. It's not that difficult to understand. Just hit your for the training wise, make sure you are consistent and make sure you are training hard. So those 3 principles, once you've mastered those, then you can truly question yourself whether you have a good training program, you have good genetics and all that kind of stuff. Because most people, honestly, they can't even hit these 3 bare minimum principles, and then they already want to start questioning themselves like, oh, do I have good genetics? Is my training program good? Is my diet good? Should I be eating this? Should I be doing this exercise? And they haven't even hit the basic training principles. And honestly, you just have to be brutally truthful to yourself and ask yourself whether you are actually you are doing the most basic things right in the first place.
Yeah, so people are definitely using bad genetics as an excuse for not training high enough, eating right.
Up to a certain point. I would say if you are qualified to judge your own genetics, then I would say your opinion matters. But if you've only been training for a very short amount of time and you haven't even done the proper research, you haven't learned about the different roles genetics play in bodybuilding, then why are you being so hypercritical about yourself, right?
You're right. And yeah, so one thing that, I'm sure a lot of people will be curious is that the biggest myth of the whole fitness industry for the teenagers is that will lifting actually make you shorter?
So there has been no research found that shows that lifting makes you shorter, and to anyone that questions you or tells you that lifting makes you shorter, just ask them this one thing: how does it make you shorter? I guarantee you most of the time it's usually your family and friends, your family and relatives, and they won't be able to answer back.
Yeah, but then, I mean, from personal experience, I feel like, do you think movements like deadlift, squat, or deadlift and squat mainly will stun your growth in any sort because they are putting loads and a lot more pressure on your joints?
So the thing you have to understand is that the poison is in the dosage, right? If you are squatting and deadlifting like every hour, definitely you get some injury or whatever. But if you're training smart and you program it properly, you definitely squats and deadlifts, they will have very low risk of injury, but their risk of stunting your growth is basically 0%.
Yeah, so as long as you're training right, not over training and recovering right, you are good to go.
Yeah, even then, that's more of the injury aspect. The stunting growth thing, not so much.
It's not really a concern at all.
It's not really it's something you should concern yourself.
Yeah, so when people ask you, you're too young to lift weights, what will be your initial reaction when you get asked that?
Well, personally, that's never happened to me before, but if somebody were to say that to me, I would simply just ask why. Just why. Most of the time, they won't be able to answer. They are too young, you stunt your growth, why? What are the mechanisms behind growth hormone? What are the mechanisms behind stunting growth? What are the mechanisms in the body that prevent growth from continuing, right? Like they won't be able to answer those questions, and they probably couldn't even tell you like how to encourage growth. They will only confidently say that this will stunt your growth.
Yeah, for sure. So there have been a lot of myths about fitness for teenagers, and I mean, as you have said, a lot of it is not accurate. It's just people thinking it because it seems to make sense, but without any research to back it up, it's nothing at all.
Right.
So people are just judging fitness because they see, oh, you're a kid, you're not developed, and you're going to the gym to use heavy weights, and they just straight away think that it's something dangerous and you'll affect your growth.
I get why they might think like that, but then I think a lot of people have to understand what you think is not objectively correct. Just because it makes sense to you doesn't mean that it's objectively correct.
Yeah, I think that people sometimes think that they know everything without even doing it, which is...
There's the most popular emotional bias in the world is confirmation bias. So a lot of people, they only want to be proven correct. They don't want to prove themselves or prove others to be correct.
Yeah.
Especially in the lifting community, a lot of people they only want to train a certain style. They only want to train a certain way. They don't want to put in the time and effort to do their own research, be able to make up their own mind, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but would you say that lifting weights would boost your, let's say, hormone levels, natural like hormones that you produce in your body, like it will help you boost your development and stuff? Would you say so?
There's so much nuance. It depends. There's so many different factors that come into play, and I think if I were to talk about it, I would definitely have to do more research, and it would probably take up the whole podcast. But from what I can tell you is that lifting weights, when done properly, as in programming well, and taking care of your nutrition especially, you will promote growth in the sense that you are just a healthier person overall.
let's start talking about some of the struggles you have faced when you first started lifting. So, when the word struggle comes to your mind, what is the initial thing that you're like, oh yeah, this is a really bad thing that I've experienced and I won't want to, or like, yeah, what is the one struggle that?
One struggle, I think, as I mentioned before, is being able to think for yourself. Most people, they don't do that. Most people, they would rather listen to somebody that seems like they know what they're talking about. Nobody wants to, or actually, it's not that they want to, it's a lot of the time, they don't know how to be able to make up their own mind. They don't know that there are websites or there are certain scientific forums that they can go to actually, try and maximize their training.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they think that training is not that deep, but especially when you're trying to build muscle, this is literally the human body. It's a field of science, but most people, they just don't wanna think too deep, right?
Yeah, and just now as you were saying off camera, you said that one struggle you face is really the amount of commitment of time that you have to spend into this thing. So, would you suggest teenagers to do it if they are having a busy life schedule and?
No lah. I don't think necessarily it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. You should, especially as teenagers, do whatever you want with your life. So long as it's not anything unhealthy or anything bad or dangerous. Do whatever you want with your life. If you don't want to pour in the time to do something that's not even like your passion or your hobby, then don't do it lah. For me, I really just enjoy putting in so much time and effort. It gives me something to do and it gives me a certain drive. I like the drive to be better and to be more knowledgeable on this topic. So it's just a me thing.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure social media has caused a lot of pressure because you'll see those carousel posts when they're like, how to improve your life in 3 steps. Step 1, go to the gym. Step 2, make money. Step 3, blah blah blah. And it causes a pressure to people to think that my only way of self-improving is to go to the gym. There are a lot of other things in life that you can possibly enjoy. Even taking up a creative skill could be something that you can shine in your own area too.
Yeah, I think you said it very well. Especially teenage guys, they think that the gym is some like sacred place that they think you instantly improve your life. And actually, even in the long term, going to the gym, the mental aspect, you won't really improve your life besides like physically. So like if you already have issues outside of the gym, then going to the gym won't fix anything. If you have issues with disciplining yourself to improve upon your own character, upon your own training, upon your own mindset lah, then what's the point, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have a very unique perspective of things. There's one quote online that I've seen is saying that the day you start lifting is the day you're forever small. Body dysmorphia is a crazy aspect of things. Yeah. So
honestly, I think that usually happens. The body dysmorphia thing usually happens in recreational lifters most of the time. Because they just want to have a good physique and they always compare themselves to others. But once you start taking, for me, I take bodybuilding, I would say, quite seriously.
For sure.
I am planning on competing in the future, so I have learned that the best way to combat body dysmorphia as someone that is passionate about lifting is to look at your physique objectively instead of emotionally. Like instead of thinking, oh my arms are so small, oh, I wish I had bigger arms, bro. I want to have other arms. You should think about it like, oh, my arms are disproportionate to my shoulders. It ruins the flow of my taper. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you're passionate about bodybuilding specifically, honestly, this applies to anyone. Look at yourself objectively instead of emotionally.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And I mean, what is one thing that made you stick to this training program? What was the motive behind it? Like you said just now, yesterday as we were chatting, you started lifting weights because your friend told you to, and you're like, why is this kind of cool? But starting it once and keep doing it is a completely different thing. What is something, the motivation that made you stick to this thing really?
To be more accurate, my friend didn't tell me to. He was just my best friend at the time, and I just wanted to, cause he spent a lot of time in the gym and he was my best friend, and I wanted to hang out with him lah. So I just joined him in the gym and I followed his training and all that kind of stuff.
If you don't mind saying, is he like huge now or?
He stopped going to the gym. Yeah.
I can relate with you. Same with me. I also
Yeah,
started
yeah.
yeah.
So, can you repeat what the question?
Yeah. So what was the thing that made you stick to working
Can you
out?
stick to the gym? I know a lot of people are expecting a very common answer, which is like, the discipline, or the motivation. I have this certain motivation to go to the gym, or I just want to discipline myself. But honestly, it's just enjoyment. I just enjoy going to the gym. If you were to ask me, I think the gym would be like, it's more of an interest to me than anything. It's a hobby. It's something I just genuinely enjoy putting my time into. So
Yeah.
it's not that deep.
You guys heard that? Following your passion is something really, it sometimes really is good. Like when they say, I know I've seen, whether it be the making money business area, they're like, don't follow your passion, you follow what works, follow what improves you. Sometimes just follow your passion. It really helps. It will bring you a long way and you'll get in contact with opportunities that this hobby might bring. So do something you like and something you can stick to is something really
I
important.
think a lot of people, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the podcast itself because the camera overheated.
The camera off, yeah.
But I did mention how lifting isn't as important as many people make it out to be. Like, so long as you're healthy, live your life. So long as you are healthy and you're not hurting anyone, especially yourself or others, then just live your life the way you want it to lah. The reason why I'm a recreational, the reason why I would consider myself a recreational bodybuilder, and I spend so much time doing my research about what is best in terms of my training, my diet, etc., is because it's just my own passion. Like, guys, lifting isn't that deep.
Yeah, so passion is something. Okay, so I mean, just now because the camera cut off, you said you felt embarrassed walking in the gym when you first started. Why was that so? I mean, even to this day, you say you're still a bit embarrassed, but you have an incredible physique for sure. Where is the, embarrassment coming from?
So, just to clear things up, I'm still a bit embarrassed to go to the gym. I mean, I'm not really embarrassed, but it's just that being an optimal lifter, I do a lot of stuff that many recreational lifters wouldn't understand, such as bringing a seatbelt to the gym, or maybe like doing only a certain range of motion in a lift. A lot of times that the normal generic lifters,
they will have the embarrassment.
they won't understand
basically.
But then when I first started going to the gym, I wasn't really that embarrassed, honestly. I think when I started, I was like 14, I think.
You were 14.
Yeah, so my honestly, my ego was very high, average 14-year-old.
Average 14, yeah.
Average 14-year-old guy, we don't really feel much embarrassment.
Even when I was it last year, I was like, wow, I'm the king of the gym.
We were all cringe at one point in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 3 years later, we look back, we'll think our current state is still cringe.
Yeah, but it's the self-awareness that I think is good. If you look back and realize you cringy, I think it shows both.
Okay, so now let's kind of get into how you train. So, I mean, the most obvious question that everyone is burning to ask is, what will be your weekly split? Push-pull legs?
So I train, if you know, but if I train full body every other day, The reason why is because this split maximizes muscle protein synthesis, which is basically muscle growth, and it minimizes muscle protein breakdown, which is, as the name suggests, is your muscles breaking down lah. So a lot of people, they don't know, but your muscles actually break down very fast, very quickly, about within a day or two, because it is not this muscle is not non-essential to your body. So your body doesn't necessarily want it. Right? So the best way to combat that is by having a high frequency training, and for me, and in general, full body has the highest frequency out of every training training split for the target muscle. Yeah.
So in order to not let your muscles go to go away, you have to hit it quite frequently to maintain it, because if you don't train it for, let's say, a week, it will slowly to kind of get lesser and lesser.
Every single day your muscles are you are losing muscle, and it's not just the extra muscle, by the way. Even for untrained lifters, for just normal people, right, you are losing and gaining muscle every single day, because if you don't move your body, your muscle protein, it will break down. And any movement, just like, for example, if you normally walk 1 hour every day, you will if you don't walk on that day, your muscle protein will start to break down very, I would say, insignificantly. But then it still does decrease.
Yeah,
but and then if you were to walk, you definitely have some muscle protein synthesis, because your body needs that muscle to continue walking.
But this doesn't mean that you have to train every day so it won't go away. Recovery is still very important, right?
Yeah, recovery is still very important. You have to balance. There's a concept in bodybuilding called stimulus to fatigue ratio. As the name suggests, bodybuilding is all about managing that ratio for you, for the individual. You want to make sure you are maximizing as much stimulus as you can, while making sure your fatigue doesn't hinder your training. So for example, if you were to do one workout session, if I were to do 20 sets per muscle in one session, obviously I will build more muscle than you in that session, but it's not sustainable in the long term.
And fatigue will overtake you.
Yes.
So it's, you have to recover, but not recover too long until your muscle is going away slowly.
It's all about the
balance.
ratio.
Yeah,
It's all about the balance.
The ratio. Right, so why not you take us through your training philosophy?
Right, training philosophy. I'm going to take up my phone again.
Yeah, sure.
I really took it out off camera just to find this. Okay. So my number one would definitely be intensity. You have to build muscle. You have to train hard. I'm sorry if training hard hurts, but you have to. You have to train near failure. About 2 reps in reserve to 0 reps in reserve. I would recommend 1 rep in reserve to 0 reps in reserve. That's what I would recommend. The next important principle would be your frequency and your volume, as I mentioned. So more frequency, more volume means more stimulus, but it also means more fatigue. So you have to manage that yourself. You have to find the sweet spot for you. And the third is your exercise selection. So you have to, if your goal is to maximize muscle growth, you want to pick exercises that are as optimal for your target muscle as possible. And so my last training principle is sleep and nutrition. It's not that difficult to comprehend. Just sleep the amount that is recommended for you, and consume the amount of macronutrients that is recommended for you as an individual as well. So that's what I would say the 4 training principles are. I would go more in depth, but I would really highly encourage anybody that wants to take building muscle seriously, to do your own research, because
Everyone is different.
everyone is, I would say, I think everyone is too concerned about who should I listen to, and not enough concerned enough about
Who I
who I am, how can I maximize my own training for myself, and how can I gain this knowledge myself. Right.
Yeah, and something just I wanted to mention is to just that a lot of you guys are saying that, I mean, I don't have access to a gym, I live in a HDB flat, and my nearest gym is like half an hour away. I mean, let's say someone has 2 hours to work out a day. We suggest them to work out 2 hours full body weight, or travel 1 hour in 1 hour gym session, which is more effective.
It depends. It always depends. It always depends.
But based on your personal preference,
Based on my own personal preference, I will always highly recommend, if your goal is to maximize hypertrophy, muscle growth,
yeah.
always try and go to a good quality gym. But if your home gym as well, and you have the equipment at home, and there's also, it's all about the quality lah. If your home gym is higher quality than like an actual gym, proper gym that's near you or wherever you want to go, then obviously I will just go with whatever is higher quality and whatever fits your needs, your training needs.
Yeah. And then from training on results wise, you know, there was one time I was on holiday, I was at China at a calisthenics park, and there were I did a muscle up over there, and there were these uncles that came over and said, you look really, really big, but you know, to be honest, your muscles are functionless. So what are your thoughts on these things? Have you faced similar situations before?
Your muscles only have one function, which is to help your body move. It doesn't matter whether you move a dumbbell or move your own body weight. So long as you are moving, you are training a muscle. Right?
Yeah,
That's
so
the simplest way I can put it.
So as long as you're getting weight from A to B, you're training your muscle.
Yeah, so long as you are performing the function of your target muscle, then yes.
But then why do they say that lifting weights in the gym often comes out more helpful or helps with muscle growth as compared to calisthenics?
It's easier to isolate
the body part, the specific parts.
Yes, more stable on average. Lifting weights is more stable than calisthenics, and also lifting weights opens you up to more options. And honestly, it's just those two things. If you are very intelligent, you can build the same amount of muscle lifting weights as you would like doing calisthenics.
So like both actually can, if you're doing it correctly, can give you the almost equal results.
Maybe. In theory, yes. In theory,
do you do
yes.
weighted pull-ups for your back?
No.
So you just put down
Machines all the time, because my main goal is muscle hypertrophy. You know, I'm
Isolation.
aspiring to be a bodybuilder, competitive.
Have you ever thought of going IFBB?
WNBF, World Natural Bodybuilding Federation. I'm planning on competing next year. Definitely look out for me.
Is there like any registration fee for this competition?
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money, yes. For the drug test, for the membership fee.
And tanning also.
Yeah, tanning too. But I think it's all worth it lah. No amount of money can take away
It's your dream.
passion.
Yeah, for sure. Just why not?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, as you all heard it, calisthenics and muscle growth. I mean, if you don't have access to a gym, you really have no excuses, because the floor is a perfect place to work out. So as long as you're moving weight, you are getting gains. Just isolation from the gym might give you ever slightly better results in terms of.
We don't know for sure.
You don't know for sure.
Yeah, what I would say is, when something is objectively better, and your goal is to be as good as you can, why not just do something that's objectively better, right?
Yeah. So also in your training plan, would you suggest including flexibility inside?
Personally, I wouldn't, but I think stretching and all that kind of stuff, obviously in terms of muscle, it doesn't help. Doesn't directly help, at least. But what I will say is that mentally, it feels quite nice to do it, like, especially before you sleep. So if you want to stretch, then stretch lah. If you don't want to, then you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
As a 16-year-old bodybuilder yourself, do you think that warming up in the gym is important?
So there is a concept called post-activation potentiation. Basically, if you were to execute, if you were to do maximal contraction before a movement, you will be able to recruit more motor units. Basically, your brain is prime for the movement. So, for example, before you go for a sprint, you maybe wanna
Go for a short run.
no before you sprint maybe you wanna maximal contraction. So like jump as high as you can or something.
Yeah.
And the same logic applies to bodybuilding.
Like bicep curls.
Like before you bicep curl weight, maybe do like 90% or 80% or just a certain number. Just basically, a lot of people, they assume that warm-ups are for injury prevention, but just for injury prevention, but actually they serve a purpose, which is to prime your nervous system to maximally output force during your working set.
Yeah. So you're right. So warming up, for sure, it can help with some sort of injury prevention.
I would say probably yes. Yes.
But the bigger end is still get used to the movement before
because lifting weights, it increases your tendon stiffness. So basically, your tendons get stronger when you lift weights. So whether you warm up or not, your tendons, your joints, they are all getting stronger and they are adapting to that weight.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like fitness, when I first get in contact with it, it's a simple thing. As you go deeper, it's a very, very deep thing, but at some perspective, it's also a simple thing. Like, there are very simple concepts that can bring you very far, but to get to 90%, simple concepts can bring you there, but to reach 100%, you need to get really deep. Do you agree with this statement?
The one thing I have to say is that fitness is by no means simple. It's the human body. The human body is by no means simple. It's so in-depth. There is so much you need to study if you truly want to maximize your fitness. But then, because the human body is complicated and there's so many mechanisms behind everything you do. Even just like blinking, if you were to go in depth, is really, really complicated. And honestly, everything that I would confidently say 90% of fitness is a oversimplification of physiology, of human physiology.
And as just now, because the camera got overheated, we were talking about people who start off skinny fat, so they look skinny in clothes, but when they take it off, they're still holding some fat. So we have discussed that the best way to go about it is to eat maintenance calories while lifting heavy to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Am I right?
Like I said, you only have one life. Just try and be healthy and happy with your life. You don't if you are skinny fat, your goal isn't to be like if you are in the moment, your goal should just try and maximize your health, right? You shouldn't be too concerned with like bodybuilding work and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you are still healthy. Skinny fat doesn't mean not healthy.
Skinny fat, you're definitely not maximizing your health basically.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so I think training is one huge aspect of working out and bodybuilding, or just being healthy in general, and diet and recovery is as important. I mean, they have the 80-20 rule. Do you think it's accurate, 80% diet, 20% training, or is it any mixed up, you would say?
I dare you to go to any bodybuilder and then tell them to like 80% diet, 20% training. I think they'll just laugh at your face. Honestly.
Yeah, so training.
Imagine training a sport. Imagine you were to do literally any other sport, say for example football, and then you were to tell a professional football athlete, it's mostly your diet that will contribute to your performance, and definitely your skill and your training is only 20%. Imagine how do you feel? Yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah, right. It's really nothing. It's really, yeah. So, what you say is 50-50 or training is higher than?
Training is definitely higher. You can outtrain. Oh, there's obviously nuance, but if your goal is to, and what's the goal? Like, if your goal is to maximize muscle growth.
Muscle growth, yeah. Muscle
If
growth.
your goal is to maximize muscle growth, then obviously both is important now. It's you're trying to maximize something, but if you had to choose between hyperfixating on training and hyperfixating on diet, I would rather you hyperfixate on your training, because so long as you are not taking your diet to the extreme, you can outtrain a diet, right? But you can never out diet bad training, right? So that's why you see, even if you eat like the healthiest person in the world, that doesn't work out, he's not gonna have any. He's not gonna maximize his muscle growth.
Yeah. You're right. And so let's break down your daily diet.
Right.
Right now. Wait. Before that, asking a question is: are you cutting, bulking, maintaining anything?
Right now, just maintenance. I don't see any reason for me to cut as of now.
Yeah, nah.
Especially for my health, I think it's better if I were to just maintain.
Will you
Right?
cut before going to the show?
I don't have a choice.
You must cut.
You have to cut before a bodybuilding show. It's a bodybuilding show.
So you're gonna get all those ab veins out, chest veins.
I already have ab veins and chest veins, but
Wow.
but yeah, I definitely have to be much better condition. Much better condition than like as my state is the current state of my body right now.
Yeah, for sure. So
You
your
talking about my
your diet,
right?
your daily diet. Yeah.
Hit my recommended amount of protein, hit my recommended amount of fats, and the rest of my calories come from carbohydrates. So a lot of people think that maximizing muscle growth and maximizing health is two very different things, because like people see all these professional bodybuilders, right? They have like outrageous diets and they have a lot of what the hell? Okay.
A bird, I think.
They have a lot. They use the assistance of performance-enhancing drugs. So a lot of people have this skewed misconception that professional bodybuilders, at least natural bodybuilders, that health and muscle is more distantly related than they thought. But actually, no. It's the exact opposite, right? If you want to maximize your muscle growth, maximize your health as well. It will directly contribute to your muscle gain, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to try and maximize your health.
So as long as you're hitting your nutrients daily and eating at the calorie maintenance for your
Right.
body weight, you're good to go.
Yeah, and obviously, as you live, right, your what is healthy for you will change. Like for example, if you didn't live, your recommended protein intake will definitely be lower. Your recommended carbohydrate intake will definitely be lower. Everything will be lowered. So you just have to adjust for your new lifestyle.
Yeah, let's say for someone who's trying to start getting into tracking their calories, nutrients, what is like the one step gateway to doing it?
Though for the first month, I would say just don't stress yourself. Right.
What's the grasshopper?
Grasshopper. Okay. Just track when you want to, but eventually you have to start tracking. What I would my own technique is your first week you only track for 1 day out of the first week, and then next week track 2 days, then 3 days, then 4 days, and 7 days, and then 7 days will be consistently.
Will you use any fitness tracking like MyFitnessPal?
Yes, I use MyFitnessPal.
Okay. Same.
Yeah, I have MyFitnessPal Premium. So I got the mod, so it's like it's not the it's not paid. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like, what is your current calorie intake per day and your body weight for them to
My
know?
current caloric, I'm very short, so a lot of you guys will be surprised that I'm only 64 kg. My body fat is about like 15%. That's a rough.
That's
it's a rough.
no
It's a rough
chance, man.
estimate.
It's definitely way lower.
Yeah,
Advance at 15%.
it's a rough-
I don't know.
It's a rough estimate, but yeah. So, what other stuff?
Like, what's your
maintenance
calorie?
calories?
Yeah.
My maintenance lah.
Yeah.
My calories right now is my maintenance.
What
For
is it?
now, it's about 2,430.
2,430.
Yeah, that's
So-
my maintenance.
So, I mean, is it accurate to say that someone... Okay, it really depends. Like, you can go on a lot of various websites and search.
Everything, yeah, bro.
for your
Honestly, the
maintenance.
whole podcast, especially about fitness, everything depends. There's so much nuance and there's
Yeah,
so
but
many things
Can
at play.
you still give a guideline to
Yeah,
where to
it's-
go? Yeah,
right now, anything I say is more of a guideline than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, one thing, the biggest thing if you can take away from this podcast is that fitness is something that really depends from person to person. There's no one step solution for everything. There's no one podcast that will teach you
Right.
everything to bodybuilding.
Because a lot of people think that it's a mental thing when they say that your is individual for you. A lot of them think it's like about their own training and it's about their own like lifestyle and that kind of stuff. Yes, that plays a part. But what most people they are referring to is physiologically, everyone is unique in their own way. Right? Some people they can live off 5 hours of sleep. Some people they can live off eating only like very little protein or whatever. And honestly, everybody is just different, and you have to find out how your own body works. That's a better way I would put it.
Yeah, so, yeah, as you have already... I was going to ask how important is sleep, but I've already covered it basically.
Yeah. So
Just
basically,
everyone is different.
Yeah, everyone is different. You have your own recommended amount of sleep. I haven't done much research on sleep, so I'm not gonna say anything. But what I would say is just get your own recommended amount.
Okay, so as we said, sleep is important, recovery is important. Are there any supplements you like suggest people of our age, 13 to 17 years old, to take? Any supplements?
Only one I would recommend is creatine. Mostly because creatine is the only supplement that is very difficult to hit your recommended daily intake through non-supplementary foods. Like for example, protein. Like you can just eat more
Chicken.
if you can afford it. You can eat more meat. If your micronutrients like your vitamins also, you can eat certain fruits, and basically a creatine you have to eat like so much meat just to hit your recommended daily intake, and that's why it's the only supplement I would definitely recommend. Everything else, and if you can afford it, I would recommend, and if it fits your calorie and nutrition goals, I wouldn't recommend supplements unless it helps you.
Because we're in a
With your
growing
nutrition
stage, we can just grow it naturally with natural foods, whole foods.
It's not. Protein powder is natural. Yeah, it's milk.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally just milk. So, just make sure you focus on your food. Your health is a priority, and I would say protein powder, supplements in general, they can be very helpful and very cost effective. But if you can afford them, and if it fits your goal and you're able to hit your
Calorie.
nutrition goals without them, then I don't see the point in using them.
Yeah, so creatine. I mean, if you were to break down creatine in one sentence, what would creatine be?
What?
If you could break down creatine in one sentence, what is it? The effects, the use of it.
Energy.
Energy.
Creatine is, to put it very simply, it gives your body more energy, and it also gives not just your body, your brain as well, more energy to perform and function better.
So it can help you get more gains in the gym, performance-wise.
Performance-wise, probably.
Yeah, I see why they think it's a steroid now, because the effects it brings are really impressive.
And creatine is not just good for muscle growth, it's really good for your health in general. That's why they recommend a lot of elderly people to consume creatine because it helps with your brain performance as well. So it's not just a gym supplement, it's a health supplement.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I might even start taking it sooner. So maybe next year I need to prep for a running competition, then I'll start taking creatine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and is creatine safe? As you said, yeah, it's safe. is protein powder safe? As you also said, it's safe. It's just milk.
It depends. It really
Depends.
depends. It depends on the company, on the product itself.
So
There might be defects. Like I said, the whole time on this podcast, there's so much nuance. There's so many things to take into consideration. But in general,
Generally,
yes,
it's safe.
Mhm.
But you need a good, trustable brand for sure.
Yes, I would say so. You pick a company that has been tested, third party tested, and they have a very good reputation. So yeah.
Personally, where do you take your protein powder from? Where do you get it from?
I just recently found out that the company, their protein intake is not accurate, so I'm not gonna recommend the company.
Alright. Yeah, sure. I mean, generally, Decathlon should be quite good with settings. No, not really.
No.
Okay, fair enough lah. Huh?
If you do you know Dino Kang?
No, not really.
He's a Singaporean coach, and his nutrition advice is really good. I think you should follow him. And he's the one that, like, how to say, he's the one that taught me that just because the protein label and the company is third party tested and all that kind of stuff doesn't mean that the protein quality and the exact nutrients is accurate.
Yeah, so to say this whole podcast, a lot of considerations, but generally you can take some advice from here and suit it to your personal life because everyone's life is different.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear it, but there's a lot of things that you as an individual have to take into account, and
A lot of things you have to learn yourself, not taken
you
online.
have to learn yourself. You cannot depend on others giving you general advice.
I think the last area of being a bodybuilder will be motivation, discipline, and balancing life outside of bodybuilding because it's time consuming and stuff. So
I think the number one thing that boils down to is enjoyment, right? No amount of discipline and motivation will beat just enjoying the bodybuilding, enjoying training, enjoying the bodybuilding lifestyle. No amount of discipline that you have, no amount of motivation you give yourself is not gonna beat the true genuine enjoyment that you have for the sport.
yeah, for sure. So
yeah,
when people say balancing school, friends, and stuff, it's just if you enjoy it, then you will find a way to balance
if
it.
you enjoy it, then do it
It's
lah.
part of
If you have to sacrifice like time with your friends or your family, and then you don't enjoy making that sacrifice, then don't make that sacrifice lah. If just do whatever you enjoy.
Yeah. And then one issue we all face is you go out with your friends to eat, right? For sure.
For sure lah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's say you are saying, cause one issue I often face is, I'm like, let's go to this restaurant, and like, let's say they have steak inside, but they're like, let's go McDonald's. What are your choices?
What are choices? You have to respect their decision lah. People may not respect your decisions, but honestly, it's really not that deep lah. Just so long as they are not actively being unsupportive or discouraging you from your fitness goals, then I don't see what's wrong with just going with the flow, right?
So you eat McDonald's too?
No. I just sit with them and have conversation while they are eating McDonald's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then do you eat afterwards?
Well, I have my own diet plan that I follow. So like I already bought foods for myself that I enjoy, and it also happens to hit my
Calories,
and
nutrients.
nutrients.
Yeah.
So I already have a set meal plan for the day, and honestly, if none of your true friends are going to force you to like, how to say,
eat McDonald's.
sacrifice
Yeah, your
own
things
goals.
for them.
The thing is for them, right? Yeah.
For sure. And then, have you ever had days where you were really down without motivation, like, I don't want to go to the gym today?
No.
Not really.
Because
So,
like as
enjoyment.
I said, enjoyment lah. If there are things that are holding you back mentally, then you have to ask yourself in the first place,
Do you actually like
do you
it?
actually like
Yeah,
it?
do you actually
and
like
it goes for anything in life lah, honestly.
Yeah, and then the last part about motivation and discipline is, have you ever struggled with body image or comparing yourself to others on social media?
No.
I mean, not now, when like, let's say month 1 to month 3, year 1 start.
No. Cause I know it's not a very common answer, but I enjoy this lifestyle so much, and I enjoy the progress I've made so much that I don't care about other people.
Yeah, and you
because
know you
it's
can't
my
really
own
change it because
enjoyment.
it's genetics and stuff, and you are
But mostly,
satisfied with it yourself.
But mostly it's the enjoyment aspect.
Yes.
Enjoyment is, for some reason, enjoyment is very underrated in the bodybuilding community. Like, honestly, just do whatever you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, so one extra part is that if people want to find extra fitness advice, where are some places you would suggest them to go to? I mean, you have said off camera, GPT is not really a credible source because it will say what you want them to say. So
I would definitely go to watch videos on kinesiology on YouTube, and go to kinesiology websites.
is Jeff Nippert a good? No, not really.
No. Don't listen to anybody. Honestly, right, the more you get into lifting, the more you realize that it's better for you to do your own research. And you have to understand that bodybuilding is literally about human physiology. If you truly want to maximize your knowledge on bodybuilding, you have to study human physiology one way or another. And no advice changes how your body is, right? Scientists have been doing research on the human body for decades now, and no bodybuilding advice will change that. You know what I mean? So you have to think of bodybuilding more as a science than it is, like, if you take it seriously, you have to think of it more as a science than anything else.
Yeah. Okay, so to end this podcast off, what is your end goal with fitness? Is it aesthetic, performance, health, or looks of any sort?
I'm going to be, my future goal is to be a competitive bodybuilder, especially in the World Natural Bodybuilding Federation, and I plan to go pro in there. And you definitely see me competing next year. So
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Yes, I'm honored to have you as my first guest on my podcast show.
Yeah, first guest ever.
First guest. Yeah, so
ever.
let's end it off a bang.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Wow, this guy being tough. Right, thanks for coming out.
Alright.
So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed that podcast episode. I personally enjoyed filming it a lot, where I gained a lot of insights about bodybuilding, recovery training, mindset shift, and many more things about fitness in general. He is really an expert in his field, especially with just 2 years of training. He has achieved an incredible physique, especially at just 16-year-old. So it would be great if you could drop a follow or subscribe whichever platform you are viewing this or hearing this on, as it can help me grow my podcast and bring in more and more guests onto this pod. I'll see y'all on my next episode.